Morning, guys. Happy Monday. Hope you all are doing well and had a fantastic weekend. Today's a new start. We get to start over. We get to, every day that we wake up, I'm thankful for and thankful to God for because I get to try again. I'm sure not every day that every one of us is pleasant, but I get to always redo it. And I'm thankful that He gives me the opportunity to serve Him again and to serve others and to show Jesus to others. So today, I'm going to bring you Matthew 16, and we're going to start kind of in, let's say, verse 22. This is when Jesus is talking to His disciples. He's telling them that He's going to go pretty much be killed. And they're kind of all like, what? So in Matthew chapter 16, verse 22, it says, "As Jesus spoke of the things to come, Peter took him aside, sad and confused and maybe a little bit prideful. Peter chastised Jesus." So Jesus is saying, Peter's telling Jesus, you can't do this. There's no way this can happen. You're the Son of God. This is ridiculous. And so Peter says, "No, Lord, never. These things that you are saying, they will never happen to you." That's a pretty big statement to Jesus, mind you. Jesus says, turning to Peter, He says, "Get away from me, Satan." This is the very thing He said to the devil during those wilderness temptations. So we all remember when Jesus was tempted in the wilderness, the devil showing Him all the kingdoms, and He's saying, you can have all this, just you have to fall down and worship me, no big deal, right? And so Jesus tells him, "Get behind me, Satan. You can't tempt me. You're not allowed to tempt me." Stuff like that. And using the word to fend off these temptations from the devil. So He's telling Peter this, one of His own disciples that He's chosen to follow Him. He's saying, "Get behind me, Satan." And you got to be thinking to yourself, if Jesus told me, "Get behind me, Satan," I'd be like, whoa. I'd feel like, this big. If there's any space between my fingers, I'd feel about that big. And Jesus goes on to say, "You are a stumbling block before me. You are not thinking about God's story. You are thinking about some distorted story of fallen, broken people." So He turns to His disciples. He says, "If you want to follow me, you must deny yourselves the things you think you want. You must pick up your cross and follow me. The person who wants to save his life must lose it. And she who loses her life for me will find it." Look, does it make sense to truly become successful, but then to hand over your very soul? What is your soul really worth? The Son of Man will come in His Father's glory with His new heavenly messengers, and then He will reward each person for what has been done. I tell you this, some of you standing here, you will see the Son of Man come into His kingdom before you taste death. Now, the part that I liked most about this is that the person who wants to save his life must lose it, and she who loses her life for me will find it. Not to get caught up in the he-she of the statement, but you have to, in order to save our lives, meaning in order to achieve what God wants us to do, we have to lose ourselves. So when we're trying to achieve a goal, let's say a goal that God has given us or an idea, a lot of times we have to relinquish control of that idea. We have to hand over control of that idea to God. And the reason I say that is because He gave the idea in the first place. It may not seem that way. Like I've mentioned before, I get a lot of my ideas in the shower, or I get a lot of, God brings me ideas, He talks to me in the shower, because in the shower I'm not distracted. I don't have phones in front of me, computer screens, kids talking. It's just, the falling water, and that's it. That's all I really have. So, and I don't spend a whole lot of time in there, and God uses that time to talk to me because it's my quiet time. It's probably the only time that's really quiet, aside from sleeping. But God is showing me those ideas, and He gave them to me. So we have to deny our own plans, because immediately when He gives us an idea, our tendency is to, okay, Lord, well, this is how I'm going to do it. And He's like, okay, that's great, but that's not how I want you to do it. Here's how I want you to do it. And the only way to get that done is to relinquish control, let go. And I think the same thing can apply for if, we want to accomplish goals in our life, because my wife and I have set a goal this year, or at least I have at least. She has yet to really divulge her goal this year, but my goal is to be able to bless other people more, to be able to give away cars, to be able to immensely bless people who are in desperate need. And I know that God can do it, and we are doing what we can to show God that we trust Him and that we know that He is able to do anything that we can ask or think. And I know He's going to take care of us because He always has. And it says in His Bible we can test Him. And again, so what I'm doing is I'm setting the goal. And then I'm saying, okay, God, now it's your turn. I've set the goal and the expectation of you. And I know that you can do it because I'm going to follow your plan, however this is going to work out. And you will bless it. And by me turning over my control to Him, I'm going to let Him take the wheel. I'm going to say, you know what, Lord, you do however it needs to be done. You just keep pointing, put the right people in my path, point me in the right direction, whatever that it is, and we'll take care of it. And I know that God is faithful and He'll come through. So I want to encourage you guys today to put your trust in Him, to relinquish control of your ideas and plans to God, and He will take care of it. So I love you guys. Have a great week, and I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. Be different, guys.